It's almost here, the end of another summer. This week on the Sports Desk, we get our hands dirty and our hair wet. Before you know it, we'll be under the lights on Friday nights. So why not end this summer with a bang? We've made a lot of great memories this summer on the Sports Desk. We may not have an NFL franchise, and the city may be split on that UCLA-USC tug of war, but that didn't stop us from uncovering some of the things that make Torrance such a fun sports town. Whether we were surfing in the fight against cancer or high-fiving South Bay soccer hooligans, this summer was definitely one for the books. It all got me thinking, how many summers have gone by without starting that new hobby? Trying something that's fresh and fun for the first time. There was a World Cup to watch and thousands of visitors coming from all over the country to celebrate the same game right here in Torrance. We caught up with some of Torrance's brightest sports stars to see how they stayed busy without classes and homework. But of everything we packed into one summer in Torrance, none of it said SoCal like the way we kicked it all off. The South Bay Waves may have a preference for the winter months, but it didn't take much convincing to bring 100 surfers, including yours truly and the rest of the Sports Desk crew, out to Torrance Beach for the 3rd annual Surfing for a Cure Surf Relay. We party waved, we raised money for a great cause, and to my delight, we passed on a little something called the Surf Club. Part of our day on the beach was a mission to help reporter Colin Kushner catch his first wave. Well, mission not exactly accomplished. So today we're turning him over to a pro.
What's up everybody? Right here I'm at Torrance Beach, and today I'm actually going to learn how to surf. So I've enlisted the help of Perfect Day Surf Camp owner Robbie Irigoyen. Let's go meet up with her.
I know I tried surfing while we were at Surfing for a Cure back in June, but let's face it, I had a pretty bad teacher, so I knew I had to give it another shot. To start things off, I swapped my button down for a rash guard and my shorts for some swim trunks. I met up with Robbie and she gave me a condensed version of everything I needed to know before I got into the water. There was so much to take in, so I just figured, hey, let's just go with the flow.
And I'll give you some more tips when in the water.
I was really nervous in the beginning. I mean, you'd think a kid that was born and raised in Southern California would be comfortable out in the water. But not me. Once we got out, I realized the waves were pretty small, so it was the perfect chance for me to learn. Robbie helped me get centered on the board, and then she would cue me when it was time to paddle. Once I felt the push of the wave, I would attempt to pop up, but instead of getting up, I would fly off the board. This would be a common trend for me throughout the day, but it gave Robbie, myself, and everyone around a good laugh. I would take wave after wave, trying my best. I got close a few times and even rode a wave in on my knees. But as the day wore on, I became pretty exhausted. My heart rate was elevated and my shoulders were burning. I asked Robbie if this was normal, and then she explained to me how great of a workout surfing actually was. Although I didn't officially catch a wave, I came pretty close, and that was a good enough start for me. I was so out of breath, I just needed to take a quick breather before we wrapped it all up. Okay guys, so I just finished my first surf sesh and now I am joined by Robbie. Robbie, how did I do?
I think you did pretty good. I saw you get up on a few waves. I saw you do some pretty unique things too, like doing karate kicks and cutting off kids. Sorry about that. We didn't teach you etiquette yet.
That's next, right?
That is next. But you did good. I think overall you did a good job.
Thank you so much. So thanks again to Robbie for taking the time out of her day to help me out and teach me how to surf. And for all you South Bay surfers, if you see me out in the water, you know that you should probably stay out. Juan, I'll send it back to you.
So Colin caught his first wave today. It didn't take much to get him excited about getting out in the ocean, and well, we already know that I love it too. I definitely love me some yoga. I've never put the two together though. So today we bring to you 5 things you're gonna learn when one of these is your yoga mat. Whether on a longboard or a shortboard, styling down the line on a soft summer peeler, or sharing one with a friend, there's nothing I love more than simply catching a wave. The entire act of riding a wave is come and gone in a matter of seconds. Balancing that balancing act of keeping your body on the board and your mind in the moment. Odds are, once you catch your first wave, you'll consider trying anything if it means you can ride the next one better. Which brings up the stereotypical surfer's inevitable draw to the yoga mat. Yoga is a methodical discipline designed to raise a person's awareness. It's a practice that is applied to every aspect of life by people all over the world for thousands of years. I took my first yoga class 3 years ago and have been practicing ever since. And in those 3 years, I've logged exactly 0 hours of yoga in the ocean. Again, it's time to enlist some help.
Meet Michelle Gerst, world famous, and I say world famous because you travel the world doing this, as we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Michelle is going to teach me all things stand-up paddle yoga today. Walk me through. What are we doing?
The yoga studio is this gorgeous place. Even if you do sand yoga or outdoor yoga, once you get your sea legs moving around the board, it helps you to breathe. And it's an experience all of its own. That's just not like being just on your mat.
Yeah.
So I call this kind of a floating mat.
So it gives new meaning to the word or the phrase vinyasa flow.
So once I got acquainted with my new gear and the tutorial Michelle gives to all her students, it was time to take a paddle through the King Harbor. In any other yoga class, the lead up to your hour-long session is filled with an anxious energy. Hellos, hugs, finding a spot for your mat, and let's get this started. But here, even in the stillest of waters, I learned my first lesson right away. I could get hooked on this pretty easy. Next, as much as I love the grace, the athleticism, and the focus that goes into scorpion pose or some of yoga's more advanced movements, Michelle warned me right away. When you're practicing yoga over water for the first time, it's a different world. It's a wise reminder when you're wearing a microphone. The last thing you want to do is go for a swim. So there it was, lesson number 2 in the bag. The ocean can, and always will, keep you humble. After that, I was reminded of something else I hadn't considered before my first paddle yoga session. In a studio, your mat is stationary. Finding balance is all up to you. In the water, if your floating mat wants to move, it's gonna move.
That's okay. You're gonna drift. There's nothing you can do. Just allow it to happen, right?
Just like the ultimate practice of yoga is about the flow between poses and not the act of accomplishing a pose, here, you literally have to go with the flow. Number 4, every once in a while you need a new perspective. Downward facing dog calms the mind. If you open your eyes, you see the world from a whole new place. Just like we're trying this practice of yoga out for the first time, anything can be exciting and new from a fresh point of view. And last, but certainly not least, after wrapping up my crash course in paddle yoga, mixing two things I already loved together in one, this one needs no further explanation. Everything is better when you can find a way to do it in the ocean.
Not gonna lie, that one's fun.
Coming up, we get back on dry land. This summer's trip to the CrossFit Games got Colin a little motivated to break a sweat. Time to lace him up and log a first CrossFit WOD.
You'd probably feel very lucky if you didn't crash, but you choose to take your eyes off the road just like that every time you read or send a text. Texting and driving has now become the leading cause of teen driver death, surpassing even drinking and driving. But if you think dying in a car crash is the worst thing that can happen to you, it's not. You could survive after you kill someone else. Imagine spending the rest of your life knowing you killed someone for a text message. Now imagine knowing you killed someone for a text message while you're in prison, because that's what's starting to happen all over the country. Still think it will never happen to you? Still think you're the special one? That's what Aaron thought right before he killed a father of 3. Aaron is one of a growing number of texting drivers who are going to jail. There's another growing group of young people that you should be a part of. Ones who have pledged not to text when they drive. Leave your cell phone alone when you are driving. If you absolutely must send a text, pull off the road or into a parking lot. Anywhere it is safe to use your phone. No text is so important that it's worth your life or someone else's. You aren't different, you aren't special, you're just another accident waiting to happen. Don't text and drive.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
So shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
With thousands of fitness fanatics coming to the South Bay from all over the globe for this year's CrossFit Games, I can't say I was surprised when Colin told me he was ready to give the sport a try himself. So, in the spirit of ending our summer taking on new challenges, new adventures, and in Colin's case, straight up kooking it, we figured at the very least he wouldn't drown with this new adventure. Well, fingers crossed on that one.
That's tough. What is up, everybody? It's your SportsDesk reporter, Colin Kushner. I'm right out front of CrossFit Code 3 today. I know we were here just a few weeks ago for the CrossFit Games, but I gotta tell you, I was so interested by the workouts, I figured I'd come back and see what it's all about.
The CrossFit craze has been going on for quite some time now. When I was in college, I had friends that were getting really into it, and I always told myself, I have to give this a try. CrossFit is a strength and conditioning program with the aim of improving one's overall athletic ability. The workouts offer a varied mix of aerobic exercises, bodyweight exercises, and Olympic weightlifting. CrossFit workouts give the average person a chance to have a little competition by scoring their performance on the WODs or workout of the day, which get compared to how others perform. When I first walked into CrossFit Code 3, my jaw almost hit the floor. It looked like a playground, but for adults. You had open space, which as we all know is super hard to come by in any gym setting. I am lucky enough to have an athletic background, so I kind of had an idea of what to expect. But I was still pretty clueless. Daniel Wu, one of the owners and coaches, got me started with some back squats. We started off with low weight, but I eventually hit 195 pounds, which I haven't done in years. My legs were burning early, but I knew this was just the beginning.
Kettlebell clean starts at the hips, right?
We got the workout, and I got tired just thinking about it. We would do 10 thrusters, then 10 burpee box jumps for 15 minutes. I grabbed the beastly pair of 25-pound dumbbells, and off I went. Everything started off well, but my body got so tired so quickly.
Tired.
I luckily had my handy gallon jug of water, which played a huge role throughout the workout. I kept trying to push myself, but about halfway through, my shoulder started to burn like crazy. The shoulder soreness slowly kicked in and made it difficult to hold the weights. I wanted to make sure this was a good thing, so I stopped and asked Mark.
I was wondering why I couldn't hold that weight.
The final countdown began, and I mustered up just a few more thrusters. When time was called, I felt so relieved. The workout was awesome. It was a mix of lifts combined with some cardio. I was drenched, and sweat was just pooling down my face nonstop. But hey, who was watching, right?
It looks like I just got dunked in the ocean. Okay, everybody, I just finished up my workout here at CrossFit. As you can see, I am drenched. It looks like I just jumped into a pool, but I have Mark, one of the co-owners, with me. Mark, how did I do?
You did good. You look very strong. Movements were good. You kept the intensity high.
You're just saying that. Come on, or are you being serious?
No, really. You did really good. You moved very well.
Perfect. Thanks again, Mark. Honestly, CrossFit, great time. I'm going to be really sore tomorrow. Juan, I'll send it back to you.
Coming up, you ever watch a live show or a big game with thousands of people cheering and wonder what it's like to be on the big stage? Welcome to every chance I get to watch these world-famous athletes. I get my own private lesson in the art of soccer freestyle next.
I think home is a place where you can feel comfortable and safe, and where you're surrounded by things that are meaningful to you and bring some beauty into your life.
Home for me is a refuge, a place where the kids could come in, my wife can be here all day if she chooses to. The air is clean, the home is efficient.
I love it that I can go to the backyard in the morning, pick 2 oranges, and I get in it a glass full of fresh orange juice. Yeah, it's just wonderful.
I could never live anywhere else.
Home is where the heart is, because we pour our hearts into them. And one of the best things about our homes is that they are right here in the Golden State. At Southern California Edison, we care about California, its present, and its future. That's why we're dedicated to providing homeowners reliable, safe, and affordable energy through Energy Upgrade California. This program can help customers like you upgrade your home's energy efficiency and reward you with incentives up to $4,000 or more. When you take advantage of this program, you're not only getting money back, you're making your home more comfortable, healthier, and you're helping the environment, like so many others. In these videos, you will hear their stories and learn how the program works. Click on the next video to watch, and you can visit energyupgradeca.org anytime to learn more or to get started on your own upgrade.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
What's up, guys? Today we are all about getting out for the summer, trying something new for the first time. So that's why I'm at Torrance's brand new Toyota Sports Complex. I'm gonna meet the world famous futboleros. Apparently, they've got some tricks up their sleeve for me. Let's go have some fun.
Go to an LA Galaxy game and they're impossible to miss. Juggling, balancing, and doing every bit of it with style. Whether they're in front of thousands of fans or hanging out on an empty pitch, heck, even when they're sharing the same stadium as Robbie Keane and Landon Donovan, these soccer entertainers are always the center of attention. I can't tell you how many times I've watched the futboleros from the sidelines and thought, now I've got to learn that.
So here we are, we're joined by James and Caitlin from the world famous futboleros. They're gonna teach me a thing or two. James, what do we got going on?
Well, I'm gonna teach you the art of freestyle.
Okay.
I'm gonna teach you how to total ball control.
Okay, and Caitlin's probably gonna run some circles around me, I'm guessing.
She's gonna teach you the art of backflips.
Art of backflips?
Oh yeah.
Done, I am in. Backflips coming up, guys.
But before we break out the backflips, I have to learn the basics. Now, I am not much of a soccer talent, so James and Caitlin had their work cut out. But I am determined to take at least one trick with me to start my resume of freestyle moves. It just might take a little while.
It's asking for a little bit too much coordination right now, James.
It all starts with ball control. Before you can juggle with your feet, you have to learn to control the spin of the ball and your body. With a little bit of work, eventually even the simplest looking moves get a tad easier.
Got it? Nope.
There you go.
Hey, I got it, finally.
And just when I think it's all starting to come together,
This time we're gonna touch the ball this time. With our bottom of our knee.
What have we been doing?
These are just warm-ups to a field.
These are warm-ups. Kidding me right now.
it doesn't take long hanging out with James Ortega to figure out how freestyle soccer became his livelihood. So often, sports aren't appreciated as more than an exhibition of strength and speed. With James, it's an expression of creativity. Like Picasso stepping in front of a blank canvas, this is art.
After playing professionally and just meeting guys on the soccer field and rooming with them and touring with them, they showed you one trick or another inside their rooms. And then what you do is you just pick it up from one to another. You pretty much wouldn't use them in the games, but you definitely could do that in practice. And
You would.
I would.
You
I would
would.
get away with it because I have the confidence to do it.
You would do them in a game.
Like you see Ronaldinho, you see Messi. Those are the kind of guys that would do something like that in a real match.
And
Juan.
Juan.
At that level.
And me.
And you, now you're ready to do that.
And now I'm starting to understand just a little more why I can never take my eyes away from the futboleros when I see them at a festival or an MLS game. For James, every trick, every move isn't something he took from the game as much as it is a piece of all the people he's met along the way.
Yep.
As for us, every new trick I'm introduced to is a new disaster.
Ah! Up. 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 I'm gonna get this one. Or not.
Of course, how could we forget the handstand?
See that? That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Crazy.
That's all it is.
Let's just say I'll leave
then
those up to the
handstand?
professionals. And there it is. It's time to wrap it all up and say it one last time. This was a summer for the books. We celebrated the world's game. We got our fair share of time on the beach. We even got a front row seat to see the fittest and the toughest in the world. And the best part is, no SportsDesk reporters were harmed in the completion of this South Bay summer. Before you know it, we'll all be back to highlights and box scores. So, if nothing else, we hope our summer fun inspired you to get out and enjoy your hometown. Get moving on that next passion. But hey, if for some reason another summer flew right by and you still haven't taken your first surf lesson, or just didn't spend enough time on the beach, no worries. We live in the South Bay, folks. It's summer year-round. We'll see you next time, Torrance, when the Sports Desk comes back with your Fall 2014 football previews. The Sports Desk would like to thank everybody that made this summer send-off possible. Perfect Day Surf Camp, Olympus Sup, CrossFit Code 3, and the world-famous Futboleros are all a part of our Torrance community. To take your first CrossFit class or surf lesson, to make the ocean your next yoga studio, or to have your little soccer fanatic attend the Futboleros' next junior camp, visit any of their websites. You can also reach out to the Sports Desk via email at thesportsdesk@torranceca.gov.